Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Engine House. I, of course, am your host, Candy Dancer, and today I'm going to show you how to turn this piece of foam right here into a loading dock. Okay, this is going to look like cement, concrete. Okay, and a couple other little things here I'm going to try. I made a set of doors here for one of the back side of the building. This will actually be a loading dock on the back here for trucks and whatnot to back up. So an inch being 4 feet, this one doesn't need to be near as wide. We're not going to have like forklifts and stuff on it. It's going to go right into a truck. Whereas this one is wide enough for forklifts and supplies and things and loading and unloading rail cars. Okay, so that's hence the difference in size. Shop Kitty, of course, is going to be here. And one other thing before we get started, some of you notice I always seem to have moose with me. There is a reason for that. Back when I lived off grid, and I did for 10 years, we had a set of twins, cow moose. Females are cows, males are bulls. Males are the ones with the antlers. We had a set of twins that came around. We knew them since they were kicked loose from their mother. A calf can stay with their mother for up to 2 years. So I'm going to assume they were about 2 years old when we started seeing them around the cabin. And they would actually come right up the driveway and come close to the cabin. They knew the sound of our voices. They would stop and, one of them gave birth 1 year and brought her calf out just minutes old for me to see. Sadly, my wife was at work and missed it, but I did take pictures. And the very next year, she gave birth again, and about a week later, she brought the calf down our driveway. And sadly, of course, the wife was at work once again. So that's why I miss my moose from being out there off grid. So I have moose around, and they're always, somewhere. There's another one up there. There's also a Holstein cow. I had a cow when I was a kid. I still like cows. But anyway, I have moose around. So there's always moose in my shots here somewhere. Anyway, I'm going to move the camera over here so we can get started on this. And we'll go ahead and get started. I start using a chalk paint. It's Cocoon. It's a little something that I saw Jason Jensen do on one of his videos. And again, I'm learning, you're learning, hopefully, if you're new to this. And that's how we do it. And I have no problem with saying I learned this from somebody else. So I watch a lot of his videos, his earlier ones, where he was building more buildings. He really does a fantastic job. So we're going to start by painting this, then we're going to let it dry, and then we're going to go on to weathering it, and we'll go from there. And you don't need to paint the backside or the underside because you're not going to see it. It's going to be up against the building, so we're not going to worry about that. And of course, once again, I forgot my paper towels downstairs. Luckily, I don't need them right at the moment. I will need them here in a little bit. And I'll just steal the roll that's over there on the kitchen counter. Wife won't notice. She's currently in the living room with her crochet hooks. She's got her own projects going on in there. She doing Tunisian crochet. It looks nice. She's doing hexagons, I believe, and it's a somebody else online has every week puts out a new one, and my wife's on number 3, I think. And then she even designed her own yesterday on the computer, spent a little time, and I think it took her all day. It's not something you do quickly. She had the whole thing, a graph, printed off a couple of things, and she was going to add it to the Facebook group she's on, and see what happens. That's her hobby, is crochet. Does a little sewing. This was her sewing mat, and of course, she was never using it, so I stole it. Eventually, we'll have to get her a new one when she needs to do something that requires this. My old one is still around. I just she had it before she gave it to me, and we bought her this one, and it's been around a while. It's pretty well beat up, but I could always use it if I had to. Okay, we've got some paint on this. Whoops. And of course, wouldn't you know it, I'd land it right on its, what do they say when you drop bread on it, lands butter side down. That's just what I did here. Butter side down, paint landed right on the mat. Okay, I'm going to let this dry. We'll be back. Okay, now, something I also wanted to point out before I went back to this. I should have done this in the start with. I ordered these. Now, I know I say modeling on a budget, and I try, but I hate building staircases of any kind. Full-size model, can't stand it. For what I spent on these, it was worth it. It was cheap. It was more than I expected, actually. This is a foot long. I have a couple of staircases to make for that, and I will be cutting these to fit. A couple more things I need to do is the 2 doors on this side here, and a staircase on the furnace room coming down, and a stair on this coming down to the ground. So I'll be cutting this, and I'm also waiting for some more detailed parts, gooseneck lights. And again, it's something I could probably make myself, but they're very difficult and time consuming, and I didn't want to mess with that. I ordered the ladder, the upstairs, online from this outfit here. Okay. Very happy with it. It was, like I said, it was more than I expected. I didn't pay much attention to the description. I thought it was about half that length. So it's actually more than what I had expected. They say they provide 5-star service. Trust me, very happy. They got that off to me very quickly, as opposed to the lights, which when I check tracking, they're sitting in Connecticut right now. I'll probably have them sometime next week. And then the other thing I still have to do is the roof on that, which when I did the furnace room roof, I used 1500 grit wet sandpaper, the black wet sandpaper. To me, it looks more like roofing. There's some people that use just regular construction paper, black construction paper, and that's fine. It's okay. I like the texture on the sandpaper, and a thing of those are not too expensive. I don't have enough to do the roof. One of the things I've got to pick up, which I realized I was going to do the roof in this video, but when I went to grab the sandpaper, I had less than half a sheet left. So I've got to buy some more. Probably should have done that last time I went to the hardware store. Anyway, let's go ahead and get going on this again. I also wanted to stain these, and I brought up some paint. 2 or 3 years ago, when Jason Jensen started his YouTube on his current layout, he was using acrylic paints diluted as a stain. This was before he started using the stains he's got now, which if you've seen any of his videos, he is a murky brown fan. He uses murky brown stain, I think, more than anything. And that comes from Best Trains over in New Hampshire, which is just the next state over that way. And eventually I'll get to ordering some of those, so I'll have them here, but I don't have enough wooden kits to really justify, they're I think like $15 or something for a bottle of those, which isn't bad, but I don't do a lot of wood. I don't have wooden kits, so justifying the cost is not really, later on maybe. So I was going to try his technique of making my own kind of stain using this watered down a bit. We'll see how it turns out. Okay. The worst thing I can do is I have to paint it. I'm going to start, of course, with the backside. But in the meantime, let's go ahead back to this. We've done the chalk. Now, I used some light gray, almost dry brushed on this, okay, to kind of give it a little more, like it's not really old, but it's not new either kind of thing. And it's kind of dirty. And I also did some black staining here, like oil stains and whatnot from stuff. So let's do some of this, and we'll do some dry brushing. Shop Kitty's going to go do what Shop Kitty does. I think it's about due for her nap. She usually runs and takes a nap. So we get most of that off here, and then we do a little dry brushing here. You can see. Now, you see this here where I've cut it, and I could probably have sanded that smooth. But this part is actually going on the back side of the building. It won't be seen that often unless you look around the back side of the building. So I'm not as concerned about this as this. This is going to be trackside, and it's going to get seen a lot more than this will. So basically, if you want to smooth it out, if you're doing this and you're going to have it where it's going to sit and people can see, both sides, then yeah, you want this nice and smooth or a little more concrete looking than what I currently have it here. I'm doing this because if you glance around and just happen to see it on the layout or whatever, it's there. It's got something on it. It's gonna have a stairway. It's probably gonna have a couple of boxes or crates on it or something of that nature. But it's not the focus of the building. So there, we got a little weathering on there, a little bit, just to, and we're going to weather it with some black as well. I'm going to, and of course, you know what I forgot? I got the paper towels. Water. This is not my day today. We're going to set this aside. We're going to give this a couple minutes to dry. And while that's happening, I'm going to go get the water that I need to clean my brushes, okay? And then we'll move on from there. Be right back. Okay, got the water. And Shop Kitty is sitting right here. She's not on. Come here, say hi. Yes, say hi. See? Yeah. Yeah, she decided she wasn't going to go take a nap. Not right now. Okay, now how I made the cracks in this. And you can do this anyway. I found this works pretty good. If you are HO scale, you can use a razor blade, razor knife to do these. You want them kind of small. So I just took a pencil basically and put a crack, and there we go. It also darkens the crack up so you're not having to put a black wash in there and making a bit of a mess or anything with the black wash. Now this will get a little bit of black dry brushed over it, but you know, it's getting black in there to do anything is and then of course we got a crack here. Let's get another one here, and then we got another one off of here, and there you go. Really easy. This is foam. Do this. I could do this, you know, as much as you want, much as I want it, or however. You don't even have to. You could just leave it. It depends on what you want. And we'll have that crack just running right down there. And we'll have another one branching off here. And there we go. Okay, and we'll just give maybe one more. We have a piece here that already looks kind of like it needs, like it's already cracked. So we'll just kind of go, there we are. And we'll bring another one right off of that. And we'll, there. And we'll put a couple over here. And there you have it. Okay, and you can use a razor knife and make them smaller, and you can kind of widen them out. The foam is really easy to work with, and I found that a pencil, nice and sharp, works great. It made the cracks I wanted it to make, and I was really, really quite happy with it. So now we're going to brush it a little bit with some brush it with some black, and maybe a little bit of this rusty here near the crack, like it got down to the rebar, some water got in and cracked in the crack, and it, you know, rust came out. I want to keep this away from Shop Kitty, who's, you can see her ear right there in the corner. I don't want her knocking that over. I could put it here in the palette, but I end up wasting more paint that way, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to, whoops, I got a little too, there we go. For some reason the black here is just, and you want some. I did some on that one, and I'm doing it here on this, is you want streaks, dirt, right? Is docks or industry can be, and I'm using my finger to wipe it off. You can see I kind of did it right in here. I put some dirt streaks down where the rain, water, streaks of dirt from the top of the dock, and the same with the rust here. Things sitting there or something down, or just boxcar sitting nearby. Rust gets on everything. Shop kitty. This is all about her. If you asked her anyway, it's all about her. She's the star. So we'll get some. For some reason, I seem to have a problem with dry brushing and black paint. I just seem to always, most all the time, end up with way too much. Hi, kitty. Okay, we're going to call that good, and I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to stick that brush right in there. And now, because I can't do the same thing with this, I'm going to put a little rust on this. We're going to use a much smaller brush. Oh. There we are. We're going to use something about like that. I bet you if I looked, I could tell you what size that is. I don't know. My mother's the artist. She could tell me what size that is, but I don't have a clue. It's a small brush. I know Jason Jensen talks about his brush sizes and whatnot, and the stiffness or the whatever. He has an art degree. Just a little bit there. And then we're going to take some of this and we're going to give some. It might help too here today. I am just out of it. Grandpa glasses. I got up a few minutes ago to get the stuff I needed when I was letting this stuff dry. I looked in the living room and my wife's sitting on the floor doing her crochet. Shakoba's in the chair behind her with her head kind of on her shoulder, and Amarok's practically laying in her lap. I took a picture. Our dogs. You see, I'm kind of using my finger here to fade that rust out a little bit. If it's too thick, and just fading it out. And this is because there might have been something sitting here. It's like the rain. washing the dirt over the side, or the rust, something on the dock. When I was driving truck, they would have a plate that would go from the dock into the back of the truck for the forklift to get in and out of the truck. And those oftentimes were pretty rusty, and they would be sitting on the edge of the dock a lot of times, and they'd scoop them up with the forklift when the truck backed in, and they'd set it down. This was when I was doing dry van. I started out pulling a van trailer, and then I moved from that to flatbed and doing heavy haul, and that's what I pretty much did for the rest of my driving career, was heavy haul stuff, big stuff. But when I was doing dry van, we had back to a dock, and they would, if they were a small outfit, they'd have a dock plate sitting there off to one side. They'd scoop it up, set it down, and it would have a little lip that would go between the trailer and the dock, and it was kind of on an angle, and it was stable, so it wouldn't go anywhere. And it had a angle and then a flat, so it would sit on the deck of the truck and the dock, and they would right up in, take whatever off or put stuff on. And those sat on the dock a lot, and they were rusty, and you'd see a lot of rust running down the dock. And there you have it. Okay, I'm not going to do anything else with this, because again, this sets behind the building. It's not going to be seen that often, so we're going to leave that over there. What I am going to do is I'm going to grab another brush. Now this is where it's going to get kind of interesting. Let's see. We're going to put in three drops of this, and we're going to add a little bit of this water. We'll see what this does. And I'm going to do the back. Mix this up a little bit. We're going to do the back here. Because you're going to see part of this as well, because the doors are going to be open. Hey, that actually works pretty good. I put some on, some of it's a little lighter. I took that off a little faster. This I left on there for a minute. It actually turns out pretty good. One way to do your stain, if you don't have I actually like that. And I was using, hang on, if I stop dropping it here. I'm using, I'll show you the paint here in just a second. Let me finish the back of this door. And I actually like that. That turned out really well. I'm using espresso. You can use any kind of brown. I have regular brown downstairs. I decided to try this. I kind of like it. There's probably dozens of different kinds of brown colors. You can do it with anything. You could do it with the black. You could do it with the gray. I have about 4 different kinds of gray, from gray, slate gray, light gray, dark gray, and deep gray. So you can do it with just about anything, and it'll look like a stain. So I'd say give it a try. We're gonna do the top and bottom here of the door, and I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to shoot a different video on making the doors. These are going to be double doors that swing open. The other two are going to be sliding doors. And I haven't yet decided how I am going to do the rail that they will be sliding on. We'll figure that out. And I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I can see it on the video. It looks like I scribed those to look like individual boards. And I'll show you how to do that. And I put some wood grain on it. That'll be the next video. Also, well, that'll be the next video. I still have probably 2 more videos on this building, I'm going to say, before I'm going to call it done and move on. And in the last video, before the presentation, I said I was going to be working on the German dollhouse. That's the next project. That actually will be more of a background thing. It'll be here. I'll show you some of the stuff I'm doing on it. I have another project I want to start on, but I also feel I need to get going on the dollhouse. I'd like to get it done. Get it close to done, and I need to set it up, and it won't be on the layout, even though, like I think I said in the one video, it's somewhere in between S and O scale, I do believe. It's too small for G. I know that. I can see I'm going to have to probably do something to highlight the individual boards. We'll see what happens when this dries. And that actually turned out pretty nice. Pretty happy with that. Okay, so we're going to do the other one. And then we're going to call this video quits for today. We'll get this one. It's actually up here. We've had some bitter cold weather, and then all of a sudden, we got a warm up, and we had rain and freezing rain, and then it warmed up even more. It feels like spring outside. This is almost halfway through the month of February, and it feels like spring. Today is mostly cloudy, but warm. I think the high today is going to be 37. And then it's going to go back down to being in the 20s and teens overnight, 20s during the day. That's normal for this area, but they're not having any more. There's no more snow in the forecast in the near future anyway. So we may get away with a mild winter. I'm going to leave that right on there and do the back. I did not, by the way, put boards, whatever you want to call them, in the back. I didn't figure we were going to see much of that, since this is the front. This is what you're going to see more of. These are going to be open. And you weren't going to see as much. You know, I'll set them before I glue them in place. I'll set them up there and see what they look like. If I don't like the way they look, I can always add the plank look at that time. Anyway, we're going to call this good for now. The next video, I will make the other two doors. Hopefully, I'll have the lights I need to put the lights on. I don't have anything on my layout that's going to be lit. As I said in another video, crawling around underneath my layout, running wires for lights and other things is not easy on me. So I'm not going to be, the lights are going to be there because it's a detail part. There's a lot of other detail parts that are going to be added. There's still a dumpster. There's a junk pile that's going to go next to this. There's a few other things, and there's the roof. So the next video is going to be the doors and quite possibly the roof and the lights. We'll see how it goes. And that may be the last video. There could be another one after that, depending on how things go, how long the other one takes. Anyway, I have minor surgery coming up at the end of this month, so I will not be shooting another video probably until mid-March. There may be some shorts. We figured out how to do some shorts. I may do a couple of those, but I'm not going to be able to do much for a couple of weeks. And then it's going to be kind of light duty for a little while till the doctor clears me. And it depends on how I'm feeling as to whether or not I can set up and do stuff here. So we'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button down there. I see I have a lot of views, but not a lot of likes. If you like it, hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe. And that way, when I do another one, you'll see it. And again, we'll be doing some shorts here and there. They'll be popping up. If I have the energy to do some more, we'll do some more. And until then, from me and the shop kitty here, bye for now.